Hello and welcome back to my channel. Starstruck Rambler here, and today, it's just gonna be a little bit of a short video for you guys today. Today we're gonna be doing a what if video, a what if scenario. But before we get into the main video, just want to slow down the time a bit. Um, Now what we're gonna do is this is just going to be as already said, and as you may have seen in the title, a what if scenario. Um, Completely hypothetical. Um, so we're just going to go to Earth quickly. Now, what we're gonna do is gonna go through a scenario where the sun basically disappears. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, a lot actually. First of all, the sun will actually never disappear like this. But let's just say it does for some reason. Let's say okay, let's just say it disappears. Let's just say it disappears for whichever reason. Okay? But we won't know it until about 8 minutes later. You see, light travels at 300,000 kilometers per second. Basically, it's so fast that it would take you just over 1 second to get from the Earth to the Moon, and then just another second to get from the Moon and back. In total, about 2.6 seconds to get from the Earth to the Moon and back. Now, if the Sun were to disappear, we won't know about it until about just over 8 minutes and 20 seconds later. Um, we would see if Mercury were visible at that stage, its light would disappear pretty quickly. Now, it's not Mercury itself doesn't produce any light, but it reflects light from the sun, which has now disappeared. So, just a few minutes after the sun disappears, we would no longer be able to see Mercury. Same goes for Venus as well. Let's say it's in this position over here, it would fade pretty quickly as well. Then, next up would be, let's see, where is it? Oh yeah, something stupid. Where is, yeah, here we go. Jupiter. If you were on the night side of Earth, you would see Jupiter fade out pretty quickly as well. Let's see. Just a moment, guys. I want to check something quickly. 770 divided by 100,000. And don't worry, guys. I'm still here. I'm just calculating quickly something. Divided by 60. Yeah, about 43 minutes after the sun disappears, Jupiter would no longer be visible either. Same goes for Saturn and all the other planets as well out out here as well. Now, depending on how far they are from the sun, it would take it would take about an hour for just under man. Yeah, as I said, it would take about 43 minutes for Jupiter um, to be still visible. So if the sun were to disappear and you were on the night side of Earth, uh, you would have about 43 minutes to view Jupiter. After that, it's gone. You will no longer be able to see it. Saturn, about 80 minutes, roughly. The others, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, that would take about few hours. The rest of the solar system, few days for them to be still visible. That's just the beginning of the problems. Without the sun, no long, without the sun, not only would all the planets will not disappear, but no longer be visible because they reflect light from the sun, which we can see here on Earth either directly with the naked eye or through telescopes. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn can all be seen with the naked eye quite easily. Uranus, Neptune, and the other planets, dwarf planets, you would need a telescope to see them. However, with the sun disappearing or being out of the system, that's the small problem that we have. The bigger problem would be if I were to now speed up time. Without the gravitational hold of the sun, the planets and all the asteroids would, all the dwarf planets, asteroids, comets would basically fly off in the direction that they were moving. You will see it shortly in a few seconds. Um, well, just a moment. Just want to. Uh, you see, as you know, the planets move in an orbit around the sun. Without the sun's gravitational hold, the planets just move in whichever direction they were initially moving. And as you can see, but and as you can see, Manchester, Venus is moving here in this direction, Earth this way, Mercury is this way, Mars is going that way, Jupiter that way. Now, depending on how far they were from the sun, they're moving either very quickly. In the case of Mercury, it's moving at a speed of um, just over 40 kilometers per second. Uh, Venus 35 and Earth 29.4 kilometers per second. Another thing that's happening is that with the temperature here, as you can see, Earth is slowly but surely losing its heat. Um, yeah, depending on when the sun disappears, the planets might interact with each other slightly, depending on which direction they're moving there, traveling to. And they're losing the heat as well from the sun as well that they used to have. Earth is now basically a nearly completely frozen over snow globe, basically. Literally almost all the continents are already frozen over. The ocean, the atmosphere itself would cool down pretty quickly, but the oceans would take a few months or so to completely freeze over. Once the Earth freezes over completely, the atmosphere would basically freeze out, meaning it would all the gases in the atmosphere would eventually freeze, cool down so much that they would basically well freeze, become they would basically freeze out and fall to the surface as snow basically. And now the Earth is completely a frozen over snow globe. Completely. Any life that any life on the surface would now be completely gone, frozen over. As the Earth cools, its atmosphere slowly but surely freezes and falls to the surface as snow. Each gas, oxygen, nitrogen, CO2, hydrogen, slowly but surely freeze to the surface directly or as snow. Some of the other planets that were further out, like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, they're already frozen. They're already frozen over. They can't get any colder. But Venus, that would take a few years or so to freeze over completely, or become completely cold because its atmosphere is 90 times that of Earth, Earth's atmosphere, and because it's mostly CO2, it traps heat from the sun quite easily, which is why it's so hot, nearly 500 degrees Celsius, and it takes a long time for it to freeze out. See, it's already been like, let's see, it's been now nearly 20 years since the sun disappeared, and it's still quite hot. The rest of the solar system is not faring any better either. It completely flying apart. And yeah, all the planets, asteroids, dwarf planets, comets, everything that was in the solar system is now flying off through the galaxy. And yeah, that's what would happen if the sun were to disappear. However, that would never happen because nothing in nature or anything can cause the sun to disappear like this. That would what might cause the sun to be destroyed might be a neutron star or a black hole. Um, yeah, either black hole or neutron star or collision with another star, but all these scenarios would actually never happen at all because the nearest black hole that I know of is just about 1,000 light years away, which is quite far actually. And that's about it for this video today. Hope you guys enjoyed and um okay, I know I haven't gotten to everything that I wanted to talk about, things came in the way. Like I wanted to talk about Cassini, but unfortunately I wasn't in Ludwig's at that stage, at that time, so unfortunately that has been cancelled. A few other things I wanted to talk about have been cancelled as well. But for the December holidays, I do have quite a few things planned for the channel. Like for example, I might do a let's play of one of my Pokemon games that I have. I hope you guys will enjoy that. I hope so. I might do a few let's watches if I can get something that hasn't been that's not copyrighted. Um, and that's about it for this video today. For this one what if video. Till next time. Cheerios.